Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great.
Yes, not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Run, you little bastard, run! Welcome to Toker Talk Radio, everybody. Oh my God, I got a headache tonight. And I do not know why. Well, we do know why. I was up till 5 in the morning. I had to, we bought a bunch of gear.
You're strewn with equipment without his tech guy here.
Bought a bunch of gear. There's not much you could have done.
I know.
I installed a 2 terabyte network hard drive, so I was moving like storage files, 50, 60 gigabytes worth of files.
Yeah, I can see Dropbox working hard over here. On
yeah, chunking away, isn't she? And we've got a new camera platform. You want to grab that and we'll play show and tell? I want to show you what your donations help us to do, because just about everything that you guys donate, your VIP memberships, your monthly subscriptions, it's in the back. It's the trigger in the back on the underneath of the plate there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, there you go. And make sure you unplug the camera too, because it's plugged in still. Anyway, when you guys make donations, just about every cent of it goes in
this
to.
Doesn't help us.
Oh, sorry. I did that so I made sure it didn't get lost.
I know.
But anyway, every penny you guys donate goes into some of the gear, into paying the studio rent, bills, the bandwidth, all that kind of stuff. And so there you go. This is our new remote camera with light. So like that fun stuff that we did in the limo the other night when you couldn't see anything in the video.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff that you couldn't see.
Cool stuff you just missed, man. But you'll be able to see it next time because now we've got the remote and a still camera on the side. We got a little mount for the still.
And like I was saying, this is an awesome video camera here. When I look at Russ with it, it puts a little square around his head. It's got facial tracking,
Mm-hmm.
autofocus, facial tracking. It's probably got some kind of low light vision.
60x of optical zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so those.
We're gonna have fun with this thing at the next couple events.
Well, that was part of the reason, wanted to make sure that we got some of this. Is coming up this 420 Cannabis Cup in Denver is going to be the biggest cannabis event ever. It's going to be massive, huge. And the last time I did Denver Cannabis Cup, I managed to get 10 seconds on that Nat Geo Drugs Inc. show when they came by and they saw the booth. And I really believe we wouldn't have got on there except for the fact that I had a nice big screen TV. One of my friends in Denver has donated that. Anytime we come into Denver to do an event, we'll have the big screen TV to be able to show off our presentations and such. We had that, and then it was the first event I ever did with mic flags, and it wasn't these nice mic flags, but it was, I made some homemade mic flags, and that's what they got a tight shot on, right? So this time I figure, all right, we're going to be in Denver for 420. Let's have some real cameras. We'll bring our hood lights, because we're road tripping.
We're going to have this it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the entire pretty much studio set up there, minus the mother system.
Right.
Unless we can get some donations again.
But we're also going to be outfitted as well. I've still got to get in touch with Adam Hand and make the order, but we're going to have new pins, stickers, bunch of stuff.
He said that he's considering doing lanyards now.
Ooh, lanyards.
420 radio lanyards. What do you guys think?
I'm all for that. All for that. So we're going to order a bunch of that stuff, a bunch of new stuff. And when we get back from 420, I'll be sending out the membership bonuses, the membership gifts, because we set this up where, you know, if you're a member of 420 Radio, you get a pin, you get a sticker, you get T-shirt if you're at a higher level, all that kind of stuff. Well, we'll finally get around to doing that. Those send-outs, now that we've built up 6 months or more worth of memberships, and we can afford to do such a thing. So things are looking good here at 420 Radio. I want to thank you all for your support, and we'll keep doing it. We'll keep making it. We're going to be at 5 Cannabis Cups this year, 6 if we can make it to Amsterdam, but I'm not. We'll see. That's going to definitely require a donation. But at least 5 of the Cannabis Cups here in America, and so many other events. If you'd like to advertise, be a sponsor of 420 Radio, check out our website. Look along the very top. There's a menu bar up there. You'll find advertise, and we've got advertising levels from everyone down to $20 a month up to $1,000 a month. We'll find a way to make it worth your while.
Or if you want to donate beyond that, hey, we can make a new category just for you.
That's right. We'll come up with a mithril. You'll be a mithril VIP. There you go. All right. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have more to talk about. Plus, we'll take your calls at 971-533-7111. You're listening to Toker Talk Radio on 420radio.org, the voice of the Marijuana Nation.
Indeed.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the Marijuana Nation.
The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the best way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak with my attorney, Omar Figueroa." Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at omarfigueroa.com. 420 Radio, your ticket to the Boston Freedom Rally. Cannabis Outreach Collective is an alternative health and wellness option located in Gladstone, Oregon, that serves patients in the Portland area and beyond. We are a full-service alternative health and wellness collective accommodating patients with natural, organic, holistic, and homeopathic remedies, nutritional guidance, advice, education, and medical cannabis, fully in accordance with Oregon OMMP law. You can find out more about Cannabis Outreach Collective on Facebook at COC503 or by emailing cannabisoutreachcollective503@gmail.com or by telephone at 503-853-1319. Check out our menu on Weed Maps and visit Cannabis Outreach Collective today.
Herbs man move, cause the rain is coming down. Police are I look, get your feet up off the ground. Herbs man warning, getting higher. Where no fool, go seek your shelter. Invade my space, no place to safe, Lord. Herbs man don't fear falling down. Either way, don't you keep no follow how they'll see the rain.
A new medical study on the effects of marijuana use confirms that everyone knows you're high and that you'll most likely never stop feeling like this. According to the American Journal of Medicine, you're not making any sense and everyone thinks you're weird.
Everyone can smell the marijuana on your breath and on your clothes. Everyone is laughing at you.
Dr. Philip Blanton of Harvard studied the effects of THC on the brain, concluding that the smell of marijuana smoke will likely stay on your clothes for months, and also that you've been telling the same story for 5 minutes. Additionally, the in-depth report reveals that despite trying to act cool, you're definitely laughing too much and everyone is messing with you.
Your parents know you're high. Your friends know you're high. Strangers on the street know you're high. If you're young and you smoke marijuana, you will probably never be able to find a job. And if you're an adult, you will most likely be fired. If you hear a noise, that's probably the police, and you're probably going to jail.
While previous studies suggested that it's all good and that we're all made of the same stuff that makes stars, new research indicates that your brain got broken and you shouldn't have done this. Doctors say the study raises important questions such as, what if that wasn't just marijuana and how are you going to get home?
This is forever. This is the new reality.
Next up, a new poll shows that kinky Americans feel the country is on the wrong track and they like it.
There you go, folks. Some news from The Onion. You gotta love that. But
the fuck.
I like in our chat room though. Who was it there? Runaround. Runaround says, sadly, this is too close to the real propaganda. That's true. Drug war can be hard to satirize sometimes.
Well, yeah. I mean, from our angle, you know, their side, they just see it as reality. You know, it's like, that's how it is.
For a long time, when I had the normal daily audio stash blog, I guess 4 times, because I worked for Normal for 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. Every April 1st, I would do a
the satirical show.
Yeah, well, not a satirical show, but an April Fool's story too. That I'd post on the blog, right? And one time, and this is during George W. Bush administration, like it was like the last year of Bush before Obama was coming in, and I did a story and a headline. Lame duck president leaving office legalizes marijuana. Mm-hmm. Lame duck President Bush legalizes marijuana as his last move or whatever. I remember how I phrased it. But I wrote this long old piece, and I thought, when you're writing satire, you want to write it broadly enough that people know it's satire, that it's funny, right? And I like, for example, the doctor that I interviewed was Dr. Vinnie Boombots.
Yeah, Boombots, yeah.
Which is, anybody that knows Rodney Dangerfield, right? One. Dr. Vinnie Boombots, right?
Yeah.
So I thought people would get it from that. I think I named one of the women reporters or something April Fools, but I spelled it a different way, right? Like FOOHL or something. I don't know,
like Fools or something.
Something like that, right? Yeah. But I tried to put in as many clues as I could that I was joking, right? Oh, I got some hate mail. I got some awful hate mail on that. That's fucked up, man. You shouldn't be telling me.
Hey, man. Hey, you can't just be saying that shit, man. Because, what happened to you, Russ? You used to be a good guy.
Yeah. So there you go.
Some people can't take.
The folks at The Onion know what they're doing. They got it just right there. I think that was
pretty classic.
That was funny as hell, man. Love it. Yeah. There's a story out of CBS News in Sonora, California. Big headline: 3rd graders caught smoking pot in California school bathroom. 2 8-year-olds and a 9-year-old were caught by another student who immediately informed school administrators. Narc. No, just teasing. But they were smoking pot in the school's bathroom. 2 8-year-olds and a 9-year-old, questioned by officers, released to their parents. The principal would not speak with the station regarding the case, but the superintendent complained that the students were caught smoking marijuana in the school's bathroom. He would not discuss how the students might be disciplined. Well, clearly they need to be thrown in jail. They need to be thrown in jail and heavily fined and forced into rehab.
Well, juvie first, so that their permanent record can have a mark on it. You know, and then once they've spent 10 years there, then they can move on to big boy jail.
Yeah, exactly. This is, when these stories that come across like this, a lot of times what they're trying to do here is, without directly saying it, it's like a dog whistle thing. You know what dog whistle politics are? Dog whistle politics, like a dog whistle, right? It's so high only dogs can hear it.
Well, it's an inaudible to human range.
There you go. Exactly. Well, in politics, what a dog whistle means is a term that's a coded term to get people to react a certain way, and is primarily involved with respect to racism, right? It's a way of saying, appealing to the racist vote without saying things that are openly racist, right? That's typically where dog whistles are. But you'll also hear dog whistles in politics with respect to, abortion rights or religion or whatever,
Yeah, or, marriage equality,
Sure.
or
gay rights.
Marijuana,
Yeah. It's all over the place. And, back in the George W. Bush days, he used to use a lot of biblical phrasing, phrases that in a speech you wouldn't pay any attention to them, but someone who is biblically literate, churchy would recognize, oh, that's from this hymn, or that's from this whatever.
Oh,
right?
he's speaking God's language now.
So a lot of these stories, when they come up about third graders caught smoking pot in California school bathroom, you almost got to feel like there's a certain intent in this, in trying to diffuse the success of marijuana legalization, in trying to paint it as, because marijuana has been legalized, third graders were caught smoking pot in a bathroom. No, that's not what's going on here.
It's, what is it? Causation, not correlation?
Correlation, not causation.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's the same thing that the woman from New England that I talked about in the rant tried to do. She went on this long old thing. You know what? I'm going to pull this one up because it's just like
the reefer madness was so thick we couldn't get to it all in the first hour.
It was so thick. I had to bullet point it, but she had a couple of points in here that were just unbelievable.
Okay, so let's throw her smelly fish back at her.
Smelly fish. Yeah, let me see if I can find America's smelly fish. Thank you.
Yeah, smelly fish.
I had another comment I was going to make about the fish smell, but it's rude and sexist. So
maybe we should, just for fun, look at images for the smelly fish. America's smelly fish.
The fun with Google image search. Yes. Where is this? Oh, doggone it! Now I can't. I have to
type in.
I'll find it. I've used the internet for a while. It's in my history. We'll find it. Well,
I figured you would have tagged it in your Daigo.
I thought I'd had, but I got a serious headache today, so I don't know.
Oh yes, that's right.
How I missed that. Where is she?
We'll talk really quietly.
Yeah, that's it. Be very quiet. We're hunting rabbits.
Wes has a headache. We got to be quiet.
Yes. There it is. Op-ed. Marijuana as the next big tobacco risks disaster.
From the Newport Patch.
Heidi Heilman, the New England field director for Smart Approaches to Marijuana.
Heidi Heilman.
All right, so here's her. Here's the line that I love. I'll just give you the paragraph. A growing body of research is showing how the cannabinoid system and the opioid system of the brain are intimately connected. Modifying one modifies the other. I'll bring that up with Dr. Mitch, see what he has to say about that. It's likely no coincidence. Vermont and New Hampshire, both medical marijuana states, are both at the top of the list for youth marijuana rates in this country. Vermont is number 1. New Hampshire is number 2.
Aren't they like really, really small states?
They are. But she's absolutely right. It is no coincidence. Mm-hmm. The thing is, though, it's not that medical marijuana put Vermont and New Hampshire at the top of the list. Vermont and New Hampshire have always been at the top of the list, and that helped them to support medical marijuana. But she says, both at the top of the list for youth marijuana rates in the country also have soaring rates of opiate and heroin use. Not all pot smokers move to heroin, but if they start in their teen years, the risk of evolving to opiate and or heroin addiction is significantly increased. New Hampshire's heroin deaths have doubled this year. Authorities now report having one heroin overdose every 3 days. Yeah, okay. So because there's medical marijuana That's why all these kids are overdosing on heroin. It has nothing to do with the OxyContin. Shh, it's not the Oxy.
Oh, have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you don't just want any attorney. You want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Lauren Vasquez knows the details of California marijuana law from both a personal and professional angle. Lauren Vasquez rose from the ranks of college normal activist to become one of the Bay Area's best marijuana lawyers. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your fired-up lawyer, or email fireduplawyer@gmail.com. The number again is 855-MMJ-LAWS, 855-665-5297 for your fired-up lawyer, Lauren Vasquez. Lauren Vasquez is an activist attorney you can trust. Call today.
I'm a reefer smoking man.
Woodpipe Smoke Shop and Speakeasy is your source for cannabis community gear in southern Wisconsin. Owners Brian and Tammy Wood are located in Kendall, just outside of Madison, and they've got everything for the smoking enthusiast, including a full assortment of pipes, water pipes, hookahs, bubblers, one-hitters, and so much more. They're open noon to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday and can help you with your detoxification therapies as well. Call 608-466-7473 or email woodpipes@yahoo.com for more information. That's 608-466-7473 or email woodpipes@yahoo.com. And as always, go pack go.
Canna-Truths, starring Denton Ramsey from Waco, Texas. Fridays at 8 a.m. Pacific on 420radio.org.
Welcome back, everybody. Music from Catch a Fire. That's J-Dub. Just let that sit in the back. This kind of feels irie. That's nice. You're listening to Toker Talk Radio here on 420radio.org. We're live at 4 p.m. Pacific time every weekday, and we take your calls at 971-533-7111. If you got something on your mind, a topic you'd like to discuss, some news you want to forward, an event you'd like to promote, we're here for you. That's what it's all about. Voice of the Marijuana Nation means us. It's a plural, not a singular.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to continue on that patch op-ed from the New England director of the, the campaign to rehab all potheads. Crap. Yeah. Project Sam. She continued her little treatise here about the gateway theory and how, marijuana has led to Vermont and New Hampshire having the highest rates of heroin abuse going on, or high rates of heroin abuse. She added, in February, the Denver Post highlighted how Colorado ski towns are experiencing an unprecedented spike in heroin deaths and abuse. And rates in the Rocky Mountain state are at their highest in a decade. Boulder is currently burdened with serious issues of street violence and homelessness, direct outcomes of marijuana legalization that doesn't seem to be reaching New England's newspapers. The direct outcome of marijuana legalization is spikes in heroin deaths and abuse and street violence and homelessness, according to this woman. Couldn't be any other factors having anything to do with that. Again, couldn't be the mass overprescription and overproduction of OxyContin. Has nothing to do with it. Homelessness and street violence has nothing to do with poverty, with politics, collapsing social nets. Nothing. It's the marijuana. That's what does it. Anyway, I did want to talk a little bit more about this heroin epidemic, because there is, a growing problem. Now, let's keep in mind some perspective. There's only about 350,000 heroin users in America. So when heroin use goes up by a few people, in comparison, it's a big spike than, say, a few more people smoking marijuana, in perspective. But still, all heroin overdose deaths are a problem. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see people harmed and harming others through their addictions. Part of why we fight to legalize marijuana is because when we're caught and sent to one of Project Sam's little drug courts and forced under the threat of P-tests and jail to attend rehabs we don't want or need, there's only a finite number of rehab beds. According to the treatment episode data set, only 1 out of 10 people who are seeking treatment, people who want it, people who need it, are able to get a bed. There's just not enough beds, and we're filling them up with the people we catch for smoking pot. Now, that's part of why we fight to legalize. Let's help addicts who really want help so that they got space for them, so that there's a bed for them when they do seek help. And another reason we seek to legalize marijuana is because there is pain in the world. 1 out of 4 Americans suffers from some form of chronic pain that lasts longer than 24 hours, at least once in a year. There is pain out there. You can't turn on a TV without seeing an Aleve, an Advil, a Tylenol commercial. I like the one where the guy, we took his 2 pills away from him and forced him to use these 8 pills.
Yeah.
I love that one.
That's nice.
Knowing how much the acetaminophen in those pills is contributing to liver damage caused the FDA to issue at least 3 warnings in the past 5 years having to do with, hey, folks, quit popping the acetaminophen like candy.
Yeah.
It's killing your livers. So, yeah, there's pain out there. So we seek to legalize marijuana. So some of the people that are seeking average everyday pain relief that you might pop an aspirin for, you might instead smoke a joint for. You might instead eat a brownie for, whatever it might be, vaporize. We want to give people an option that doesn't lead to a pill, that leads to a stronger pill, that leads to a more addictive pill. We want to legalize marijuana to end this stigma of people who use drugs in general. As marijuana becomes legalized, and we move the greatest number of drug users from the category of being criminals to being citizens, we end a large degree of the demonization of all drug users. We show that something everyone thought was evil and terrible can be managed by people. And for those who can't manage it, it's still better to treat it as a public health issue than a legal consequence. So the people who are struggling with problems with heroin addiction, cocaine addiction, methamphetamine addiction, prescription pill addiction, alcohol addiction, we reduce the overall stigma that has to do with being known as a drug user. We show a concrete example of being able to move out of a crime and prohibition mindset into a public health and treatment mindset, a real public health and treatment mindset that depends on the people seeking treatment, cooperating in their treatment. The old saying is, how many psychologists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to want to change. Coerced rehab only goes so far. Now, rehab is a wonderful thing. It saved my dad's life. I wish more people who wanted it could get it. But when you force someone into rehab, you don't seem to have the same results. Oh yeah, I know the drug court people will say, we'll bring out their little mascot, whoever it is, who, got arrested and busted and had to go through drug court. But for every one of them, there's 10 more of them that had a relapse, didn't do so well in drug court, and ended up with a longer prison sentence than they would have if they'd have just, taken the prison sentence in the first place. This is what's going on in this drug war, drug rehab, P-testing, prison warehousing industrial complex that's going on here. And if we can move marijuana out of that and take a big chunk of that away from them, it's just as significant as taking that big chunk away from the Mexican cartels, too. And that chunk that's no longer going to the prison rehab industrial complex, P-test complex, means diminished capacity to lobby, means diminished power in the political sphere that is directly transferred and translated into entrepreneurship on the marijuana side, that is directly translated into lobbying power to continue to lobby to get us from where we're moving, prohibition, into a certain kind of Jim Crow status, right? Alcohol drinkers aren't limited to a single six-pack, right? Home beer brewers can brew 500 gallons. People who smoke cigarettes have all sorts of little place allowances made for them to be able to smoke. We're not there yet. And so we're going to have to move from Jim Crow into full citizenship. And as our businesses grow, as our companies grow, our lobbying power grows. And we're no longer criminals fighting not to go to prison. We're citizens fighting for equal rights. And that's a fight that even people that don't smoke pot can get behind. Kind of hard sometimes for a lot of them to get behind the criminal angle. Anyway, before I go too far on this rambling path, I did want to mention a story that Medigro, Vermont had sent in, coming from WCAX in Vermont. And it features the drug czar, Gateway Gil Kurlikowski. And he was in Vermont praising Vermont for its harm reduction. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. The United States federal drug czar supporting a harm reduction effort. And it has to do with heroin. Police Commander Colonel Tom Esperance talked about how all his troopers now are carrying naloxone. Now, if you don't know what naloxone is, this is the anti-opiate overdose drug. If someone's overdosing on oxy or heroin or morphine, you give them a sniff of this stuff, wakes them right up, revives them, saves lives. It takes about 15 seconds to put it together. Administered nasally, can revive an unresponsive and blue patient in less than a minute. Healthcare organizations have been distributing this to heroin addicts' family members. They started in January. They had 500 doses to distribute. 140 have been given out. The governor says it's saved 7 lives already. Gil Kurlikowski, our drug czar, said, quote, "In a state the size of Vermont, you can serve as a model and a blueprint, and I think you already have." This is amazing. This is wonderful. This is fantastic. Everybody, and not just police, and not just the family of addicts, you should be able to go buy naloxone at the CVS over the counter. Doesn't get you high. It's not an addictive thing whatsoever. But it is something that someone overdosing on an opiate, it can save their life. It should be in everyone's first aid kit. It should be in your medicine cabinet. You never know. You're having a party, someone comes over, they do some smack in your bathroom. You never know, right? Now, Kurlikowski didn't disappoint us, though, with a little bit, just a smidge of reefer madness. He went on the old talking point, Kurlikowski prefers to treat rather than incarcerate drug users. Right, treat them by forcing them to go into treatment, or we'll incarcerate you. Right. And again, just drug users, the growers, the sellers, the traffickers, you still get prison. But he says he's also, the report from WCX says, he's also made it clear in his time as drug czar, he's skeptical of a growing national acceptance of marijuana. The reporter, Kyle Medura, asks, "Many of us expect Vermont to have a legalization debate in the years to come surrounding marijuana. How, if at all, would that affect our efforts to combat opiate use?" And our drug czar said, "I think I'm going to dodge that question." Oh, just dodge the question. Oh, yeah, I did.
Sure. Yeah.
You're in charge of our drug policy. The biggest story in drug policy right now is the growing massive momentum of marijuana legalization. Your own predecessor, General Barry McCaffrey, said the momentum of marijuana legalization is irreversible. His words, quote, irreversible. And you're in town to talk about how well we're combating opiate addiction. But those two stories, we're not going to, talk about the two of them together. Oh, gee, no, gosh. Why would we want to get bogged down in something like that? Oh, drugs are, you silly man. All right. Time for us to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more news to discuss here on Toker Talk Radio.
You cut people, you smoke trees till you get what you need now. Designer drugs and minted smokes to get through the day. You always get them so high.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
You know Herb Thrasher from the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Now get ready for Herb Age Designs for the proud cannabis consumer. Herb Age Designs, lifestyle gear for the 420 friendly. Herb Age Designs, home of the famous lighter leash. Herb Age Designs, get your Herb Age t-shirts and hoodies and show your pride. Herb Age Designs, we've got frisbee golf discs and durable hemp gear. Herb Age Designs, we've got shot glasses, drinking glasses, coffee mugs, and beer cozies. Check us out on Facebook and online at herbagedesigns.com. And follow Herb Age and Herb Thrasher on Twitter. We'll see you at this year's Hemp Fest. Crank it up.
Support the Russ Belville Show. Text the word Russ to 420-420 and connect with the National Cannabis Coalition. You can also send $10 to the Russ Belville Show right from your smartphone. That's Russ to 420-420. You're listening to Radical Russ on the Russ Belville Show.
I'll say, little red carpet, darling, your mud's too fast. Little red carpet, you need a lover that's gonna lay.
420 Radio, freeing your mind 24 hours a day.
Hi, I'm cannabis.
I'm alcohol.
Do you know that I can be used to treat a number of physical and psychological conditions like depression, Huntington's disease, and osteosclerosis?
Your mother's an osteoporosis.
I can also be used to help those who are abusing our friend over here.
You know what the problem is with you? You think you're better than everybody else. Hey, look at me, I'm weed.
Okay, I actually do prefer to be called cannabis. I'm illegal.
I'm illegal, because weed makes you stupid.
Welcome back. It's Toker Talk Radio. We are joined by Left Wing Larry, who's hanging out over there on camera 4. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing just fine.
Oh, that's camera there. Camera 5. Sorry.
There we go.
There you are, camera 5. And you came down very, very excited because usually Larry will come down to the studio all excited. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? And I'm like, yes.
This one you didn't know about.
I did not know about this one. So have at you.
Okay, well, evidently Tuesday night on CNN, Sanjay Gupta is doubling down on his cannabis information. I just heard about a 2-minute talk by him on the Aaron Burnett show, and he said that you can use cocaine legally, you can use methamphetamine legally because it's lower on the list than marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And he says this is stupid.
Wow.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Very nice.
So anyways, Tuesday night, 10 o'clock.
What's up, Doc?
Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
All right.
Weed 2.
We will be checking Weed 2, Cannabis Madness. That's what it's called. Weed 2, Cannabis Madness, Dr. Sanjay Gupta reports. Now here's, I like the title.
Yes.
Punctuation, because it says, Weed 2, Cannabis Madness, Dr. Sanjay Gupta reports. A little redundant. Anyway, I'm a punctuation Nazi, I guess. But anyway, so let's go to the video. There's a little promotional video for this. Let's see if I can get this on the air. You know, right, sprat. And there's good old Anderson Cooper. So this is the promo from CNN on that new Dr. Gupta special. And the heading again is, Gupta, I am doubling down on medical marijuana.
There is real science now out there.
He was flat out wrong about weed.
A year-long journey that changed what many of us thought about marijuana, myself included. I think, we've been terribly and systematically misled. We used to only picture this. Then we showed you this. Medical marijuana, treating seizures, pain, dozens of other ailments.
Charlotte's doing amazing, just better and better each month.
But we learned this wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning.
I think we went from about 150 calls a month to over 4,000.
There are still so many issues to be addressed. The federal government says marijuana is among the most addictive drugs with no medicinal value. Many serious scientists say they're wrong.
It's a medicine.
It's the politics of pot, pitting policy against patients. Trapped in the middle, sick, qualified people who want medical marijuana but can't get it because it's illegal.
And if you try to go back to Ohio with drugs medication,
We'll be arrested.
All for a plant that you're going to see can work wonders for pain in a grown man, MS in a woman at the peak of her life, and seizures in a little girl. We traveled the globe asking scientists, patients, and policymakers for a solution. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and this is Weed 2, Cannabis Madness.
So there you go. There's the promo. Weed 2, Cannabis Madness. But I saw a little bit of Patrick Kennedy in there. Looks like you talked to Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be fun to hear Sanjay destroy that.
Right.
Oh, the trickle just keeps happening. It's turning into a cascade, turning into a waterfall here for the opponents of marijuana. It's just so fun to watch.
They're getting blown out of the water.
Yeah. I mean, we had Georgia just pass a medical marijuana. Now, again, now talking to Sharon today, she says it's not just a CBD thing, though. It's been the debate has been framed around these kids that use high CBD, but there's some question as to whether the bill actually says that it's just CBD only, because it doesn't explicitly say so. And what they're doing is they're reopening a program from 1980 that Jimmy Carter helped get through when he was Jimmy Carter was governor, but it got through during Jimmy Carter's presidency. It was a medical marijuana program for cancer and glaucoma, but it relied on the federal government to supply the weed. So the question is that if this program starts, it'll add seizures, but somebody's got to supply the weed. And so maybe they're thinking the only supply is going to be this CBD from Colorado. Regardless, 171-4 was the vote to pass this thing. And like Sharon said earlier today, you know, just a year or two ago, you couldn't even say marijuana without getting giggles and just rejected by the legislature.
Yeah, or narked on immediately.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
What this would do is create if they go with just the CBD oil, will create a monopoly for these brothers.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people in our movement. Well, I can't say a lot. There are people in our movement who are kind of calling out the Stanley brothers in not, you know, trying to make this a business thing and not sharing openly the genetics and the supply, you know, kind of keeping it restricted. I don't know enough about it to be able to opine intelligently on the issue. I don't know the guys. I haven't really done a lot of research on it, but others out there are, and, you know, we might have someone on someday to talk about it. We'll see. You know, my perspective on it is that weed should be free, and, you know, anybody that's sick should be able to get it.
Are they in Denver?
Not in Denver, but they're in Colorado, yeah.
We might possibly get them to come on our show, your show.
That'd be great.
On 420.
I would love that.
That'd be a good idea, I think.
I think so, too. I mean, this is part of what we do here is try to find, you know, room for everyone's opinions so we can have an intelligent discussion about these kind of issues. You know, the CBD, the whole fight for this CBD oil, I think is starting to be directed fairly well, I should say, by our side. In this kind of, in a way that it's like, all right, CBD it's not THC. It doesn't get you high. CBD is really good for these kids. It's this low CBD oil. And then the legislatures are biting. They bit, right? And as soon as they bit, we're like, oh, but don't you realize it's got to have some THC to balance it?
Yeah.
Reel them in.
Right.
Reel them in. I sure hope that's the way that we're able to pull this off.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people are pointing that out, that, you know, some of these families in Colorado that have moved out there tried, you know, the super high CBD, low THC, and didn't get very much result until they started tinkering with the ratio, trying to find, well, if we add in a little THC here or there, then they started, you know, having
that's like,
greater effect.
Like what my doctor told me, my pot doctor.
Yeah.
He told me to experiment with mixing the different strains together and to find what I need. And, you know, I guess this works a little better than the genetic pulling one plant for one thing, period. And he told me to try, you know, the indica for the sleep and the pain, and to try the sativa, mixing it in with it. And I don't know. I don't know enough about it yet.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, the doctors I've talked to, the experts I've talked to on this, all tell me that any one constituent of cannabis does not work as well as when they are combined.
Combined, yeah.
And, you know, that's part of what was driving GW Pharmaceuticals in their development of Sativex, was the almost wholesale rejection of patients to Marinol and to Sesamet, these you know, Schedule 3 synthetic THCs that have no CBD in them. You know, and they said, well, let's see what we do if we mix this. And, oh, what do you know? Patients like it. It works well. You know, we add more of these things in there.
Which is basically like vaporizing.
Yeah.
Because you're getting it in a vapor form, you know, a spray.
Absolutely. Sublingual, just under the tongue. There's another story, you know, we talked again to Sharon Ravert in the first hour, and Georgia passing that bill. Florida's legislature voted 11-1 for a CBD bill, so that's moving forward. They've been trying medical in Alabama for years. I don't know that what's happening as far as moving forward on that at this point. South Carolina, I've heard nothing. I know nothing of reform in South Carolina.
There's been some movement in the past in Arkansas also.
Oh, yeah. Arkansas, Missouri's really good. I've not heard of anything in Mississippi.
Right.
In Louisiana, I think Governor Bobby Jindal has signaled some willingness to look at the CBD type of thing. In Texas, we had some encouraging comments from the governor with regard to those issues. So don't count out the South. I think there's plenty of good people and good activism happening there. And we will just, Florida voting on medical and the type of medical they're voting on.
Right. It's a good medical, too.
Gonna be huge. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll wrap up the show, take our last segment. And, we'll remind you of our Fan Friday Trivia Contest question. And perhaps you can win this November 76 High Times magazine. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at RadicalRuss.com.
Marijuana and alcohol are the two most popular recreational drugs in America. Marijuana smoking is non-toxic, relatively safe, and has a low risk of dependence. Alcohol drinking is potentially fatal, dangerous to society, and is quite addictive. Marijuana is safer, so why are we driving people to drink? That's the question of the new book, Marijuana is Safer, So Why Are We Driving People to Drink? By Paul Armentano, Mason Tvert, and Steve Fox. Visit Amazon.com or ChelseaGreen.com today to order your copy of Marijuana is Safer, or visit MarijuanaIsSafer.com.
Weed Porn Daily, starring Oscar Diaz from Florida. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on 420radio.org.
Ever wonder how often to change your bong water? The most effective method for baking pot brownies? The best destinations for a ganja getaway? How to hide herb in your car? Whether to grow your own? How precisely to legalize it? Or how something as wonderful as marijuana ever got to be illegal in the first place? Finally, you can find all these answers and much more in the official High Times Pot Smoker's Handbook, featuring 420 things to do when you're stoned. Since 1974, High Times magazine has covered marijuana in all its aspects and wonders, from cultivation to legalization to the herb's enduring and exalted place in popular culture. Packed with inside information, the official High Times Pot Smoker's Handbook rolls all of this collected wisdom together into a single indispensable ganja guide, including an entertaining look at marijuana's history, profiles of herb-friendly travel destinations and festivals, favorite potluck recipes from the High Times staff, smoking skills, advocacy and activism, essential marijuana movies and songs, profiles of famous cannabis strains, comprehensive growing information, celebrity endorsements, and much more. This is truly, finally, the ultimate guide to green living.
Jai is so good and Jai is so great. Jai is the man you couldn't ever underrate.
Welcome back, Tokers and Tokettes. 53 after the hour here at Toker Talk Radio, and Brian is looking at Brave Michaela's picture, her latest picture on Facebook. And
One of her latest.
One of her latest. She's got gorgeous dark hair coming in. She kind of looks a little Audrey Hepburn, a little Natalie Wood, maybe. But she's going to be a gorgeous woman. What a great little girl. She's a fantastic person. Oh, so happy for you, Brave Michaela. All right, so, yes, our trivia contest. Let's not forget that. We've got our Fan Friday trivia contest going on.
That's
that we run
right.
every Friday.
It's time once again for the 420 Radio High Times
Fan Friday trivia.
Trivia contest.
Not easy, is it? Okay. Well, no, we'll work on it. But our Fan Friday trivia contest, every Friday we do a trivia question and we give away a classic issue of High Times magazine that was donated to us. We had a box of them donated to us from a fan in Florida. This is the November 76 issue. and all sorts of great stuff in there. The ads are some of the best part, I think.
Oh, yeah.
The old ads. The Styx Crystal Ball album ad on the back. I mean,
yeah. Well, and of course, the classic nudity.
Oh, yeah, the classic nudity, of course. So the question this week is, what were the two drug reform organizations that merged to form the Drug Policy Alliance? Question again, what were the two drug reform organizations that merged to form the Drug Policy Alliance? Just put the correct answer in an email and send it to me, russ@radicalruss.com, and we'll enter you in the random drawing to pick who wins this new High Times. And we'll be sending out the other two. Let's see, we've got 3 others to send out. We got labels now. They should be going out tomorrow.
And this one is from November 76, and I just opened up the back cover here, and it's their closers segment. And who do I see but Bob Marley?
Ah, there you go. Real chalice.
Yeah, basically it says that some of the readers suspected that a recent picture in High Times of Bob Marley and some marijuana was some kind of tricky artwork. Like a fake, like they Photoshop, it was before Photoshop, you know, they collaged it basically.
Photoshop before Photoshop.
Yeah, that's great. Some kind of tricky artwork. As you can clearly see here, Bob Marley really has been in the same room as the herb. Like there was any question.
But there's something about that, though.
But it's great. See it here, right?
There's something about that speaks to how far we've come, because really, back in 1976, the notion of being in a room with a huge pile of weed and having your picture taken and shown to the world, it's pretty shocking.
Yep. And he's got probably a quarter pound there, looks like, in front of him.
Yeah.
On that picture. But just really cool stuff, you know.
Nowadays, you can get on Pinterest, you can get on Facebook, and see picture after picture of massive buds and
200-gram glob. You know, it's like
it's ridiculous.
So pounds and pounds of cannabis that have been, taken from busts and such.
So if you want to get involved in the Fan Friday trivia contest, again, we'll give away the magazine on Friday, and the question is, what were the two drug reform organizations that merged to form the Drug Policy Alliance? Send your answer to russ@radicalruss.com. And once again, to close the show, want to send a heartfelt dedication of this show to the friends and family of Big Jim down there in Alabama. Was informed by Herb Thrasher today that he has passed on, and we don't know why at this point, but doesn't really matter. He is a big supporter of 420 Radio. He is a big supporter especially of the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour and Thrasher Sports. He'd come in and talk sports with us. He's called in a couple times, and Herb had just seen him too down there in Alabama last time he went. He was working also with folks that were trying to get medical marijuana passed in Alabama.
And Alabama Medical Marijuana Coalition.
Yeah, and it's just a shame, It's interesting doing this job, and it's I just after 5 years to have people that you don't even really know, but you see them every day as just a name in a chat room or a.
I was able to meet Jim when he came for Hemp Fest and our Hemp Stock.
Oh yeah, we did meet him.
And
he was here in the studio.
That's right, he was here in the studio.
His I think it's his niece Erin has control of his Facebook page, and there was just an update a couple hours ago says that they're decided on having visitation Friday and a funeral Saturday. And she'll let everybody know on Facebook. So.
Yeah, King of Pot, Big Jim, Stereotype, Katie's Paw, all of our VIPs out there. You will be missed.
Steve Veteran. All of you guys,
But thank you for all your support,
we'll
and you are the reason why we keep doing what we're doing, because we're not going to stop until everybody is free, and we wish you could have made it there with us. All right, that's all the time we got for today. Thanks for joining us. Coming up next, you've got Free Weed from Danny Danko, new episode of Free Weed, followed by replays of Hour 1 and Hour 2, and then at 8 o'clock we'll have a replay of Red Eye's Reggae Flashback. For Brian the Red and Left Wing Larry, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, go.